Hello, everybody.
Whoa.
Welcome back to another Britney Spears reaction. Today, we're gonna do a long one.
It's not even Britney Saturday.
What? It's Britney Wednesday? What? Yeah, we're just doing some extra Britney content this week, and because this whole like conservatorship thing is going on, and a lot of people wanted us to react to like the testimony that she released or that got leaked from her court hearing or whatever, and we figured before we react to that, maybe we should check out this documentary so we know the whole backstory
stuff.
What's going on? About to find out. Uncovering Britney Spears' dark past.
In the description it says part 1 in a 3-part series, but this channel also had like part 4, 5, and 6, I think.
They were like, oh man, I need more parts.
Yeah, I don't know.
So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully we can learn about this and then we can know like exactly what's going on with all this stuff, because it seems very like intense what's going on.
Yeah,
just from like the news stories. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe, like the video, let us know what you want to see. Obviously the next parts are coming if you guys enjoy, so let's do this.
From Kentwood, Louisiana, here is 10-year-old Britney Spears.
10 years old. She's on TV at 10.
Jeez.
And she had brown hair.
Wow.
The editing's intense.
Yeah, I'm getting scared. What the heck?
Whoa.
10 years old.
Yeah, she got the like, she can do the low voice. I guess that's where she came from. Because I think she was at like,
people can take everything away from you, but they can never take away your truth.
a young age. She was in Mickey Mouse Clubhouse or something it was called. I forgot what it was
And the
called.
question is,
With Justin Timberlake.
can you handle it? Can you handle my truth?
Dang. Is this like a professional documentary?
I'm not sure.
Or is this a YouTube? This is very well done. Like,
Britney
I've only
Spears
seen a
is
minute.
not in control of her own life. Over the past few months, hundreds of articles, clickbait stories, and TikToks have detailed the horrible tragedy that is Britney's conservatorship. Many painting it as a conspiracy theory, and others coming up with complex conspiracies of their own. But in this 3-part series, we are aiming to clarify and explain what is actually going on with one of the most beloved pop stars on the planet, and detail the horrific abuse Britney has faced not only at the hands of the media, but the people closest to her as well, people she trusted. So to begin, let's go back to where it all started, Kentwood, Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Bye.
James, aka Jamie Spears, and Lynn Spears married in July of 1976.
Jamie
Little did
Lynn
the struggling
Spears.
small-town New
That's her
York
sister's
know
name,
they
I
would
think.
eventually give birth
Really?
to an international phenomenon that would change our entire culture forever. Jamie was a building contractor, and Lynn would take care of Brian Spears, their firstborn. They were like many Americans living paycheck to paycheck, just trying to get by. But even before Britney was born, Jamie and Lynn's marriage always seemed to be in a toxic and unhealthy place. Living in a town as small as Kentwood, Louisiana, gossip makes its way around the town quickly. And on Christmas Day, 1979, Jamie was allegedly spotted at a local Kentwood bar cozying up to another woman. Just 1 week later, on January 2nd, 1980, Lynn Spears would file for divorce, alleging he committed adultery that night. She would also request a restraining order, worried that Jamie's reaction to the divorce
this is
could
going
end
deep.
up in harassment or even physical harm, especially if Jamie had been drinking. Lynn did end up withdrawing the divorce paperwork in March of 1980. However, Jamie's drinking would continue to escalate, and this would not be the first restraining order requested against Jamie Spears in his lifetime. On December 2nd, 1981, a pop star emerged from the womb, and her name was Britney Jean Spears. Born in Macomb, Mississippi, just 30 minutes away from Kentwood, Louisiana,
Welcome to my hometown of Kentwood, Louisiana. It's a small town about an hour north of New Orleans. Where I come from is country, and when I get back home, I start talking country again. Stuff like yonder and hey y'all, or what y'all doing, stuff like that. This is my great-grandmother. Everybody calls her Granny, and you haven't tasted any seafood until you taste hers.
Seafood.
I work
Seafood in Mississippi.
clean the tables and help the customers. I really love living in Louisiana. The people here are so nice. They treat you like
Louisiana, I
family
mean,
and make you
she was
feel
born
right
in
at
Mississippi.
home.
Gosh.
Kentwood is a tiny, tiny, tiny town with a population of 2,122 and a median
Dang.
household income that is half of the national average. This
Oh.
means that many are at or below the poverty line, and Lynn and Jamie Spears were no exception. Jamie's continued drinking would make it difficult for him to hold down jobs and support the family. Times would get so rough, the fridge would be empty, and Jamie would have to hunt in his backyard for small animals in order to feed the kids. It is now 1984, and Britney was just 3 years old when Lynn Spears saw star potential in her daughter. Lynn did not want to waste any time preparing Britney to be a performer, so she put her then toddler in voice and dancing lessons.
Whoa,
This would be just the
3 years
beginning of the
old.
stage mom years.
I think the biggest regrets that I have right now, by looking back, I didn't follow my mother's intuition a lot of times, or my gut instincts. I would let people talk me into things, or, influence me, and I was right. My initial gut instinct was always right on. And sometimes I didn't follow it. I have to laugh when I hear people call me stage mom, because right now I can see one of my students that I taught. He's now an English professor in a small community college. I'm a teacher at heart. The stage mom was not my choice, and I never was.
Many believe Lynn saw Britney's potential as her out from a toxic marriage and a life filled with financial struggles. However, the financial hardships and home life would only get worse as they tried to make Britney a star. Britney was a busy child. Aside from ballet, jazz, gymnastics, and voice lessons, she would also
Guess that makes
sing in
sense why she's a hardcore dancer.
Yeah, super
join
dancer.
dance competitions, compete at the state level for gymnastics, sing on
Jeez.
local television, and even did a short run of beauty pageants where she of course won the talent portion. Having Britney in all of these activities and competitions was really expensive.
Money was sometimes tight.
It was not unheard of for them to wear hand-me-down clothes.
It's kind of one of those things where you know it, you just don't talk about it.
Sending children to private school can get expensive for anyone.
It was really hard on them, putting her through, dance lessons and singing lessons and going to an academy like that.
There's tuition, there's registration, there are books, there are assessment fees. I would imagine having 3, it would be expensive to do.
This would only further the financial struggles for the Spears
$3.
family and inevitably strain Lynn and Jamie's marriage even more. William Spears, brother of Jamie Spears, recalls when Britney was no older than 5 years old, Jamie Spears tried to drive off drunk with Britney in the car. William
Whoa.
stopped him and they had a physical altercation in front of Britney. William also remembered a time when they were all in the kitchen. Lynn was just drinking a glass of water and Jamie walked in drunk, insulted Lynn, grabbed her glass of water, hurled it across the room, shattering it. Britney was regularly
Jeez.
witness to these drunken violent episodes and her parents regularly screaming at
Now
each
that guy
Britney's
owns her
Aunt
life.
Sandra
That's
was a
very
safe
interesting.
place for her,
Yeah.
and they were really close. Many times when her parents would scream and yell, she would run over to her aunt's house to escape what was a very toxic, unhealthy home. Even throughout her career, she would find ways to thank her Aunt Sandra.
My beautiful, sweet family for just instilling in me the love of music, just teaching me diligence, perseverance, and always sacrifice no matter what the cost. I love you. And I want to thank the Lord for just proving to me I can do anything through Him who gives me strength. And I truly believe if you follow your heart, and most importantly, God, your dreams will come true. And these are for you, Aunt Sandra.
Another escape
She
from
really
home
doesn't
for
have an
Britney and Lynn
accent
would
for
be
being from
performing.
Mississippi.
So
No.
in 1990, Lynn took Britney all the way to Atlanta, Georgia to audition for a spot on the Disney Channel's The Mickey Mouse Club. Britney was just 8 years old
Mickey
at
Mouse
the
Club.
time, but she made it all the way to the final 6. However, she was told to come back when she was 10. Casting director Matt Casella knew Britney was incredible, so he
Here we go.
Introduced her to Nancy Carson, a New York talent agent. Nancy got Lynn to enroll Britney in the Professional Performing Arts School. Now we're in 1992, which was a huge year for Britney Spears because she debuted on the TV show Star Search. She did an incredible job, but she didn't end up winning. Even though a young Britney was rejected on live TV,
by
this did not
0.25.
discourage her. In fact, it motivated her. Then talent agent Nancy Carson would get Britney Spears an understudy role along with Natalie Portman on the off-Broadway play
Natalie Portman.
Britney, her baby sister Jamie, and Lynn would temporarily move to a very tiny New York apartment. But Britney, she was young and she was working really long hours.
It was every night, and it was just like so monotonous. It was just, but then I kind of got tired, and I was gonna have to perform on Christmas night. And I was getting, really upset, because I wanted Santa Claus, I wanted to be home with my family, and, I think I was like 11 years old.
Jeez.
And, so I told my mom, because she always told me, whenever you want to pack up and just go home, let's do it. So I was like, you know what, I gotta go home, I gotta go home and be with my family again, because I totally missed it. So we packed up and everything, but the day before we left to audition again for the Mickey Mouse Club, they had another audition for it. It was like, this is like 2 years later. And that's when I got it. So I got to go home and experience Christmas.
The Mickey Mouse Club was truly Britney's big break at just age 11. It was filmed at MGM Studios in California. So
That's
Britney
so
would
young
live in
to be like
California
moving
6
to
months
Hollywood.
out of the year to film the show, and was working a full 9 to 6, which are pretty long hours
Whoa,
for a child. She
9 to
filmed for
6?
2 years alongside Justin Timberlake, Ryan Gosling, Christina Aguilera, just to name a few. According
Whoa,
to Mental Floss,
what the-
the Mickey Mouse Club contracts were exploitative, as the children would make $185 a week, which comes out to under $5 an hour with the kids
What?
working full day. After they wrapped up filming in
Friggin' Mickey
1994,
Mouse.
Britney would return home to be a typical kid for the first time in her life. Britney's parents at this point were really struggling. With the Mickey Mouse contracts not being that great, they'd gotten into serious debt trying to make Britney a star. There were judgments against them to seize their property and sell it to collect debt and federal tax liens. At this point, the Spears family was going bankrupt. 1995 is the only year in Britney Spears' childhood where she seemed to live a somewhat normal teenage life.
One
It was
year.
9th grade and she was going to a typical high school, getting elected for homecoming court, and was dating the star football player Reg Jones.
Reg
and Britney
Jones!
were on that year the first and only prom Britney would ever go to. But this year of normalcy would quickly come to an end,
We want to thank Opinion Outpost for sponsoring this video.
and allowing us to devote over an entire month to this project alone.
This project is super important to
An entire month
and
for this
Opinion
video,
Outpost
though.
They went all out for
everything.
it.
Have you ever wanted to earn real money out at home in no time? 90 saw a surge
Thanks
in
for letting
interest
us watch
in
your
girl
video.
groups. Record labels in the United States were looking to capitalize off of their success and form girl groups of their own, and every label wanted the next Spice Girls, and they were going to get their way. Britney was even in talks with Lou Pearlman to join the female pop group Innocence. However, Larry Rudolph, then entertainment lawyer who Britney had met when she was 13 through Justin Timberlake, had a different
13.
idea. Larry wanted to pitch her to record labels as a solo artist. So Britney recorded a demo and flew to New York all by herself for one day to sing for various labels. Most turned her down
by
as they were all
herself?
looking for pop groups. But Jive Records
Seems
thought
like the
Britney had
perfect
just the commercial appeal they were
opportunity,
looking for.
like,
And on
to-
August
for them to, like, take
1987,
advantage of her.
Britney
That's
changed
scary.
the world forever and signed a recording contract with Jive. There are tons of theories across the internet about how they worked to change Britney's voice before recording her album to the iconic Britney Spears baby voice we all know today. Britney loved Whitney Houston and sang in a deeper voice in her earlier days. But they needed a pop icon, and Britney would be just the one to deliver that either way. And just like that, Britney was off to Sweden to record part of her first
Sweden.
album with Swedish songwriter and producer Max Martin. On October 23rd, when Britney was 16, Baby One More Time was released as her debut single, and would become one of the best-selling
Look how
singles
young she
ever
looks.
released,
Yeah.
launching a small-town Britney into
That's
an
her.
international pop star, thus kicking off the 21st century pop renaissance. On January 12, 1999, Britney took the pop music scene by storm and released her debut album Baby One More Time. It reached #1 in 15 countries, becoming the best-selling debut album of any artist to date. This
Wow.
was
Whoa.
huge. In just a few short months, Britney Spears was a household name. She was winning awards, opening for NSYNC, and touring across malls in America. You could not turn on your TV in 1999 without seeing the 17-year-old pop sensation Britney Spears.
Female vocalist or
Did
female
she even
artist of the year would be
finish high school then?
I don't know, maybe not.
Female artist is
She probably got like her GED.
Britney Spears.
Britney Spears!
Britney Spears!
Well, that's how she came to get her reward.
Yeah.
We've watched quite a few of these.
Yeah. Snake one.
We watched the Pepsis!
Yeah. Oh yeah, another one. We watched that.
What came along with this newfound stardom was Britney being turned into a teenage symbol. They would often ask teenage Britney really invasive questions.
It's classic Britney, as a magazine said, a kind of puzzle under all those shifting images. Playing innocent, and then playing the shock for all it's worth.
We look at you like you're a little girl. No. We look at you like you're a big skank. But nice of her to try and break free of her kitty pop image and show she's an independent woman by becoming a toy for a group of sweaty guys. I am woman. Hear me, whore.
I would like you
What
to
the
just
heck?
be your
What
kids
the-
and tell them Britney Spears should be grounded for wearing that. Did you see what you're an adult woman. You're a grown-up. Britney Spears is 18. She's like, you know, takes 2 Band-Aids and she's singing there. I don't appreciate that.
She's a nice girl.
She's very nice, but the trampy outfits have to go.
But it's going to be
She's
part
like,
of the criticism.
yeah, she is.
She's been criticized too. You know, like, why do you let her go out looking like that sometimes? How have you dealt with it, and what advice
This
have you
early
given
2000s
about
era,
that?
all the like concerned
and
Christian moms on
What
TV.
people don't understand is that Britney doesn't go out looking like that. I mean, when she goes to some party, or if it's the Grammy Award or whatever, that's where you dress up.
Being a girl,
That's
being
a
dressed up
costume.
and,
That is glamour.
Britney's like, what are you talking about?
I don't think about this.
Why do they keep asking?
I have I guess, a greater concern for the social setup when you make your videos. Do you say, you know what, I don't want to be represented in this particular manner?
I'm the one that they're like, take that off. So we need to put you in something a little bit more appropriate. Not that I'm like, you know, like scandalous or anything. No, but sometimes they try to, you know, dress me in a proper way.
Now that you're 19, is there part of you that just wants to say, why is it wrong?
Everybody's gonna have opinion, and you can't please everybody. But I mean, as long as you're comfortable, I say wear what you want to wear. You know what I mean? That's all in how you carry yourself.
Crazy how
and
that
you
was
do
like a
everything.
shocking
You know, that's what it boils
interview
down to.
question back in the day.
Who appeared at an anti-violence rally, and well, listen to what she said.
Really, if I had an opportunity to shoot Britney Spears, I think I would.
What in the world?
That's really
Republicans never change.
How hard it is to be a parent.
That's a literal death threat.
I know.
I mean, you know, I can't help that. And if the parents don't like them to see it, then change the channel. So, sorry.
It's literally the same thing that happens on Fox News today.
And that's when Britney said she was saving sex for marriage.
Do you wish you'd never said anything about the virginity thing because it's going to follow you to wedding night?
I kind of wish, I kind of do, because when I go overseas, you know, they'll ask you questions about it, and it's just something that's there, and you can't help it.
Which then the media became obsessed with Britney and her virginity.
I'm just wondering how you feel about all the constant speculation about your virginity and whether you are a virgin or not.
I really wish I would have never said anything to begin with, because I'm kind of stuck in this little place where people are always asking me. But, you know, that's just something that's
People
part
are
of
so
my
weird
life,
how
and
that's
it's
like
just
such a
something
big
I have to deal
obsession.
with, so.
Yeah, that's so weird.
That's a personal question.
This is you talking about Britney. Would you walk around the street in an effing bra? She's not being herself up there because she's dancing like a hoe. Is she a hoe? She says she's a virgin. You know, it's just not clicking. End quote. Avril Lavigne on Britney Spears.
There's one subject we didn't discuss.
Avril Lavigne said that?
What was that? Everyone's talking about it.
What?
Well, your breasts.
My breasts.
You seem to get furious when a talk show host comes up with this subject. Okay.
The heck, that guy's so creepy.
That was
What do you
so
think about
creepy.
breast implants, just in general.
Well, I think if that's what you want to do and that would make you happy, then I see nothing wrong with it.
What other
But
response
I
is there to that
haven't done
question?
this. But
That guy's such a
it's sad
creep.
that people, think I've done that because that makes them want to go out. And, some of the fans that look up to me, they either think bad of me or they may want to go out and do that. But that's not my fault because the press started that.
Amongst all these disgusting questions and uncomfortable interviews, one of the most iconic relationships to date formed. Britney Spears started dating teen heartthrob Justin Timberlake. They became pop royalty and the it couple that the media could not stop talking about. And in 2000, Britney kept that momentum going. In May of that year, she released Oops, I Did It Again. This album was another huge hit and her second best-selling album to date. In the 2000s, Britney also began forming her pop star image. She would often push the envelope, much like Madonna
Is that a
in the
Teletubby?
80s
You
and
see
90s,
that?
but she
No,
was
I
taking
didn't.
it even further. For example, at the
Who's that?
2000 VMAs, Britney performed Oops, I Did It Again, and at the time, it was considered extremely
watched that,
controversial
pretty sure.
because
That's
of
so
her
controversial.
new outfit
Yes.
and dancing. Almost everything Britney did at the time was considered a scandal. And the following year,
What the?
Britney released the album Britney in October 2001. With songs like Slave for You and I'm Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman had the media already talking. But then Britney performed the 2001 VMAs with probably the most iconic performance ever. She started off in a cage with one of Doc Antle's tigers and would proceed to put a giant
That's
yellow
a creep.
sleeve around
Yeah.
her neck. That image
The
of
like
Britney-
cult guy.
Yeah. We never noticed when we watched that one.
No.
It was too blurry, probably. I did
Yeah.
not remember seeing him there.
He's a creepy dude.
He's
The snake
weird.
around her neck has been one of Britney's most iconic moments. And the next 2 years were just as eventful for Britney. And now 21-year-old
Dang.
Britney was working on her next album, and her movie Crossroads premiered. 2002 was a difficult year for Britney because the good girl image from her teen years was still so heavily pushed onto her into adulthood. She was constantly criticized for being too sexual. It's having to be this perfect role model for millions of kids around the globe. Britney's aunt was also diagnosed with cancer. And in 2002, the pop culture defining relationship between Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake had just as big of a fall when Britney and Justin went through a very, very public breakup. And Justin was not shy about airing relationship details. He also alluded to sleeping with Britney on Hot 97 FM when promoting his album, as the media was still weirdly obsessed with knowing if the world's pop princess had been active. Justin took it further and hired a Britney lookalike for his song about their breakup, Cry Me a River. And this is where you see the shift against Britney Spears in the media start to begin. Britney was trying to shake the teenage image, and the media started to paint her as the villain in every aspect of her life. Then, the 2003 infamous VMA performance happened. Britney and Madonna kissed on stage, and the world went wild. And in 2003, on public television, this was considered shocking, and the media treated it as this huge deal.
Madonna was great, kissing Britney. It's like, where's my kiss? Yeah, it was unbelievable. I didn't know what to think.
I can't imagine the way they freaked out for that in 2003.
Come here! Madonna and Britney! No! No! Are you one of those straight guys who fantasizes about two women together? And is that too personal of a question?
Yes and yes.
Every straight male has that fantasy.
Which it was pretty iconic to see Britney and Madonna kiss. However, the media took this way too far and tried to paint Britney as the villain even further by saying she's a horrible role model. One public official even got in trouble for saying that Britney Spears should be shot for kissing
What a
Madonna on
freak.
TV. Around this time, Britney
What
also
a
released
freak.
her fourth
That's
studio
crazy.
album In the Zone. With hits like Breathe on Me and Toxic, this proved to be one of Britney's most iconic and successful eras to date. Everything Britney touched was gold. Anything she did was so talked about that she, as an entertainer, changed the pop music and entertainment industry forever. With iconic music videos like Toxic and performances to follow them up, Britney Spears was the name on everyone's lips in the early 2000s. Unfortunately, around this time, photos of Britney doing normal things for her age, like smoking and drinking, started to make the rounds in the media, saying that Britney was a terrible role model and that people should stop supporting her. The harassment by the media was getting out of hand, but no one, especially not Britney, was ready for what was about to come.
2004 marks a major shift in Britney's life. She clearly had enough of the control behind the scenes and the media's portrayal of her. It is January 1st, and Britney is spotted dancing the night away at Rain Las Vegas
Dance
with
the night
Jason
away.
Alexander, a childhood friend from Kentwood, Louisiana. Jason and Britney are having such an amazing time in Vegas partying that in the early hours of January 3rd, they have an idea to do something wild and crazy. Britney and Jason hop into a lime green limousine and head down to the Clark County Courthouse courthouse to get a wedding license. Then at around 5 a.m., they arrive at a little white wedding chapel, famous for quick middle-of-the-night weddings.
Is that from The Hangover?
In just minutes, Jason and Britney fast and cried their way through the infamous wedding ceremony. When Larry Rudolph and Lynn Spears learned of Britney's marriage, they went into a panic, and damage control mode set in. Larry went to George Maloof, owner of the Palms, for help getting an attorney to annul the marriage immediately.
After the quickie Las Vegas wedding, the poop hit the fan. Lynn went insane. They sent like an army of lawyers pouring into Vegas.
We just received a decree of annulment. There is no marriage now. They're both very happy that they've made the decision that they made to annul the marriage.
And at 4:30 p.m., Britney and Jason signed the annulment papers. According to George Maloof, they were tickled pink and gleeful when signing on the dotted line that would end the famous 55-hour marriage.
By marrying Jason, Britney may have been seeking revenge on the advisors who sold her as an untouchable virgin. And somewhere deep inside,
her whole
mother
life
who
has been
agreed to
controlled,
market
it
her
seems
as a
like.
baby-faced sex bomb.
When you look at Britney, what has her life been like? She's been managed. She's been managed by her mother, managed by managers, managed by the media.
I mean, literally since like
and
5
so
years
she has
old.
a moment of freedom and a moment of self-choice, and she goes, you guys can't control who I am. You can't control what I do. I can do whatever I want.
2004 would continue to be a year of rebellion. Britney was working on her 4th studio album that never saw the light of day. All we know of what was probably going to be one of the best pop albums of all time is what Britney herself leaked without her team's knowledge.
How soon? 5 years? Would you like to have a guy?
That would be the
family?
ultimate dream.
Yeah?
That would be great.
Are you thinking you'll wait till you're 30?
I don't want to wait till
40.
I'm 30. No. I would love to have a family. That would be when I'm the most content. My kids and just, I mean, they become your life. It's not all about you anymore, and you have a focus that's so beautiful.
She then locked eyes with Kevin Federline, who was previously a backup dancer for NSYNC at a Hollywood club. Kevin said it was love at first sight, and just like that, their whirlwind romance would begin. Kevin, however, was currently engaged to Shar Jackson, and they had their second baby on the way. The tabloids would explode with images of Kevin and Britney together, and Britney was being branded a homewrecker. But Britney didn't care. She was determined to live her life without the opinions of others influencing her. Just weeks after meeting, Britney invited Kevin to come with her on her European tour in London. During the tour, they would become the first vlog couple as they captured their romance and would later turn the footage into their own reality show called Chaotic. On the flight back, something big would happen.
How did he propose? Can I ask that, or is that too much? Am I being nosy?
I proposed.
You proposed? Really?
Well, Ella's got long hair.
Camera filled up.
Camera filled up. Continue.
No? Yeah, because it didn't look like he wanted to get married. He said love is love, and that's a commitment enough. And
Actually, I was a little rejected at first. I kind of got slapped down.
How dare he?
I told her that it's not right for the woman to ask the man. The man's supposed to get on one knee and do it all right and this and that.
Whatever. Yeah. Exactly. Whatever.
Exactly.
So then you then had to.
Ella's getting right up next to him.
It took me about 5 minutes and I turned around.
Really? That's sweet.
Then on September 18, 2004, Britney and Kevin invited their family and friends over for what was supposed to be an engagement party. But it was actually a surprise wedding that Britney and Kevin had fully planned out. On October 15th, Britney announced on her website that she was taking some time off and she would let US Weekly overexpose other blondes for entertainment. At this point, she had had enough and was ready to just be a newlywed and start a family of her own. In April of 2005, just 1 year after meeting Kevin and marrying him, Britney announced that they were expecting their first baby.
Can you imagine all those weirdos taking pictures of you with your kid?
No, but is it a good personal growth move?
That poor kid,
yeah,
too.
absolutely,
Oh.
because Britney has been controlled by her mom and her managers ever since she was like 9 years old. By having a baby, you can't take that away from her.
I think that's what we're seeing a lot of Britney's life right now is the pendulum swing of having been controlled and contained so much by what other people have decided is right for her.
On September 14th, Sean Preston was born. For the first time in Britney's adult life, she was living exactly as she wanted. Because she was taking a break, she wasn't being exploited in the media as often, and she was getting to spend time as a new mom in her new home in Malibu. Things were really looking up, but unfortunately, this would only last for a very short period of time, as the media started to exploit her child and paint her as a bad mother. The paparazzi would harass Britney while she had her tiny baby with her. This could put Britney and her baby in potentially dangerous situations, as back in 2006, we didn't have the paparazzi laws that we have today to protect celebrity children.
She says her greatest accomplishment.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it seems like the paparazzi were insane back
But
then.
the one thing that gives her so much joy is, ironically, the very same thing that's made these past few months a very difficult time for Britney Spears. In February, Britney was photographed driving on the Pacific Coast Highway with her baby in her lap, in the front seat. It was a picture that became not only a punchline,
but in her defense, the baby had to sit on her lap because her husband Kevin was asleep in the child seat. So apparently,
but the source of serious debate all across the country.
I think it's very important that Britney gets some baby safety training.
You were photographed, I guess, by the paparazzi again, pursuing you. And there was Sean on your lap in the car.
Yeah.
Take me through what happened there.
If right now we got in the car and went to Starbucks, you would see 20 photographers there. And I went to Starbucks and I see a bunch of photographers and I'm scared and I want to get out of the situation and my baby's crying. They're coming up on the, the sides of the car, which is a scary situation for me, and they're banging on the windows, and that's not something I want my baby to, so I get my baby out of the car and I go home. So, and I just feel like that they're taking cheap shots.
But the fact of the matter is, while they pursue you, and we can argue for a long time, they shouldn't be doing it. And I would agree with you on that completely. They managed to snap a picture that didn't cast you in the best light.
Oh, of course, that is their job, and they do a very good job at it. And they've crossed the line so many times, and I think because I'm a sweet young girl, nothing ever gets really done about it,
When you were driving with Sean on your lap, did it clearly?
And it's seriously that driving incident. I did it with my dad. I'd sit in his lap and I'd drive. We're country. That's what, you know what I mean?
But what happened, though, it crossed from a paparazzi incident to next day, it's in the newspapers, and you've got all these legitimate people weighing in, saying, you know what? That's dangerous. And she put her child at risk. You saw the questions that were being asked. Is Britney a bad mom?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, did Britney record a bad song?
Mm-hmm.
Is Britney wearing a bad outfit? Is Britney in a bad marriage?
Yeah.
Is Britney a bad mom?
Mm-hmm. That's America for you.
Yeah, but as a mother, that has to hit pretty close to home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes you really strong.
Make you weep?
Oh, I've wept. Yeah. I've definitely wept just with the world, how judgmental they are. You know what? I know I'm a good mom.
But just a few weeks after the
I
baby
hate these
in the lap,
interviews. They're so uncomfortable.
Like he seemed on her side, but at the same time he was like
the moral police.
Yeah, he
moral
was
police. Matt Lauer. Where is he now?
Yeah.
fired. Incident: Britney's son, while in the care of a nanny, fell out of a high chair and banged his head.
You took him to the doctor?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, of course.
So you walked into the hospital and said he bumped his head, fell out of a high chair.
And then the doctors acted really funny with me. I know, it was really bizarre.
Well, how'd they act funny?
I don't want to say, but they did.
Suspicious?
Like I said, I don't want to say what they did or what they said. But it was bad. It was really, really bad.
Do you think, though, Britney, that because of those questions that were asked after that picture on Pacific Coast Highway with Sean in your lap, that the doctor in that emergency room or that hospital said, wait a second, maybe I have a bad mom on my hands?
I was just happy that my son was okay, and I wanted to get home and get out of there.
And then, not long after that, you got a visit from the family services people.
Yeah, in which actually they felt really bad about it. They said, we don't even know why we're here.
So in other words, they came because it's their job to come. They have to investigate.
They didn't have to come. The doctor there made them come because I didn't bring my doctor there with me. So people a lot of times think because you're a celebrity that you're taken care of more. In some situations, people you get it worse.
In another incident, Britney and her baby were yet again being harassed by paparazzi, making it difficult for her to even get to her car. Britney tripped, almost dropping Sean, but she caught herself. Later that day, that situation really shook her and she was spotted crying in a restaurant, but even the owner of the restaurant started taking pictures of her. And Britney just tripping over her feet for just a moment and catching herself was used to paint her as this person who saves her coffee over her baby. There was no empathy for this new mother, and the media didn't care about the potentially dangerous situations they were putting her baby in. All Britney had ever wanted was to be a mother, but she was watching her baby get exploited in a similar way that she had been. As she was going through all of this, the media didn't know it yet, but she was actually already pregnant with baby number 2. On top of the media being pregnant and adjusting to motherhood, Britney's marriage to Kevin was on the rocks. At that time, fans and tabloids were not a fan of Kevin. They felt like he was always in it for the money and the fame. There was even a popular website started called divorcekevin.com, and there was even a petition asking Britney to divorce Kevin that got 200,000 signatures. Then on September 12, 2006, Britney gave birth to Jaden, her and Kevin's second son. After the birth of Jaden, her marriage went on a downward spiral. Kevin would leave Britney, who was just a few weeks postpartum, to go party in Vegas, and that would be Britney's final straw. In November of 2006, she would file for divorce, and this would be a major turning point in Britney's life. Nothing about Britney's childhood was typical. It's almost like she was specifically made just to become a star, pushed into this life from when she was a toddler. Then this life turned into one of her few escapes from her dad's alcoholism and her parents'
Yeah.
But then her only escape was exploited for everything it was worth by the media, her family, and people she trusted. A very betrayed Britney Spears was heading into what would be the worst year of her life. And the world didn't know it yet, but we were going to be witnesses to one of the worst abuses of the media in modern day history. Pop culture was about to be changed forever.
Paparazzi's nuts. Yeah. So nuts. I feel like I think this is just the outro.
Yeah.
Or the intro for the next one.
Continued.
Dang, okay.
It's crazy how much bad stuff we learned about, and that doesn't even talk about the whole father.
No,
like,
that's
stuff.
before the whole thing. Yeah, that's crazy. Seriously, the paparazzi just seemed ruthless back then. I wonder if they kind of like have less influence now because of social media. Like people just post their lives in general on there.
Yeah, they kind of like do it themselves.
And then there's laws like the child laws and stuff now, so they can't do that. But they were just like right in their face.
Yeah.
With their kid, crazy.
And the one where she like tipped a little bit, and they're like coffee over. Like if the baby's falling, you know if the baby's gonna fall.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure she could tell that the baby was gonna rebound back up, and then her coffee would be fine. It's
crazy.
What the
She was
heck?
literally controlling her whole life. Like starting at 3 years old, I'm like sure that probably helped her like get really good at dancing and stuff. But 3 years old,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
I mean, kids will complain when they're 17 years old and they're told to get a job, and she was forced into all this stuff at 3.
Yeah. Nuts. Dang, yeah, that was really intense. Just her life too. It's just her before the whole incident, like the part and all that stuff that happened, and that's kind of like the stuff you hear about the most from like her going crazy phase or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, her life leading up to that was a dark past.
Yeah. I just knew it. There was the time where it was talking about her marriage, and it was like lighthearted music in the background. I'm like, when's this gonna stop? It's gonna stop soon. And then all of a sudden it was like, but then it all changed. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I wonder. So I feel like nowadays too, like, I guess I don't know for sure, but it seems like fans are worse than the paparazzi. Like fans showing up to your house because everyone knows where you live now.
With the like more in-depth internet, it's very easy to like get super invested into people. Instead of invested in what the paparazzi says about people, it's invested in what you can see from them constantly.
People think you're like they're friends with these celebrities because they watch them live stream and they watch them like talk to them.
Yeah.
So they're like, they're my friend. They would like me. I like them.
And it encourages the celebrities to continue doing it because they're making money off it. They're getting publicity from it.
I saw some video yesterday. I think it was on Reddit. These girls showed up at Justin Bieber's house. And he was like, guys, it's really awesome, whatever, that you like my music, but don't show up to my house. That's not cool. That's not cool. You cannot show up to my house. And they're like, oh yeah, okay. And then she was like, can I get a hug? She totally just didn't pay attention at all. All she was sitting there was Justin Bieber. And then he's like, no. And then he left. She didn't get a single thing from that. It's crazy.
But now she told everyone, I've seen this Justin
Bieber. I met Justin Bieber.
Yeah. Wow.
Crazy. Yeah. But
this
anyway,
is part 1.
Part 1. That was in-depth. That was dark. And it was uncovering. And there was that epic fight scene. Did I stab you with my thumbnail?
A little bit, yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe. Let us know if you want to see part 2. Because if you enjoyed, we will check it out. And the leaked footage after we learn the whole story, too, we want to get to. So if you enjoyed, like, subscribe. See y'all later.